All right, so welcome everyone to the video. I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this or watch this. Obviously, I have no video turned on. I just, being visually impaired, I don't really see the need to do that because this is more about listening to, the things that I'm going to be talking about. I don't really have anything to show. If you want to see my face, you can look at the picture there on your screen. So I want to talk about Ivytech, and I want to talk about a little bit about faculty, a little bit about special accommodations, a little bit about having a disability and going to Ivytech. I want to talk a little bit about careers and success. And I'm going to help you have a better understanding about going to Ivytech. And also I'm going to be talking about STAND. See the ability, not the disability, which is a group that I started when I first started going to Ivytech. So the first thing I want to talk about is faculty. The faculty, every single person that I've met through Ivytech have been very outgoing, respectful, helpful, polite, and willing to help you if they can. And I think that's one of the things that really got my attention when I first started going to Ivytech. Not even a year in, and I could see how everybody I met was so polite and outgoing. Even when I didn't need help, there was faculty asking, "How are you doing? Johnny, is there anything I can do? Is there anything that you need?" So that says a lot about a college. I'm not saying other colleges are bad, but when you can go to a college and they make you feel at home, it makes going through college so much easier because you don't feel like, you don't have all this pressure on your shoulders thinking that, someone's going to say something to you because you did something wrong, or, obviously if you do something wrong, they're going to say something. But point is, it's a stress-free environment. It really is. Even when you're going through classes and you're maybe having a struggle, by the end of this video, you'll see why I say that it's a stress-free environment. The next thing I want to talk about is special accommodations. If you're getting ready to go to Ivytech, or you're considering going to Ivytech, and you will be needing special accommodations due to a disability that you have, it is very important to remember that once you get signed up, you need to do that first thing. And whichever person you might be working with, depending on what Ivytech you might be attending, get with them, and I can guarantee they're going to help you go through all of it. And it's really not difficult. The most you got to do is get the proof that you have that disability. Go to your doctor, go to your eye doctor, go to your whatever doctor it is you got to go to for whatever disability that you might have. Get the paper, take it back, and you're good. But don't ignore the factor that you need special accommodations. I wouldn't think that there'd be anybody that would go through college needing special accommodations and not requesting it. I mean, I'm sure it's happened somewhere in the world more than once, but it just wouldn't, it wouldn't make sense to me to do that, because That's going to be key to you becoming successful while going through college. Okay, so make sure you do that. The next thing I want to talk about is going to class and you have a disability, what it takes. You got to communicate. That is so important. But it's 50-50, right? You got to communicate with the instructor, and the instructor has to communicate with you. It needs to be 50-50. If you go to class and you're not communicating with your instructor about the things you need, how could you expect to be successful? And there's no reason to be nervous or feel like you're going to be made fun of or anything like that, because you're in college now. This isn't high school. It's not, and there might be college students that, are still young and, might act silly and all that, but I don't see this being a problem. You don't have to communicate about your disability in front of your classmates. You can get with the instructor and say, hey, can I talk to you before or after class? I would suggest that, I do it myself. It's very successful, is to communicate with each instructor that you have before you even start your classes and try to meet with them. Send them a letter, let them know what, let them know how you do things, what works for you, what works best, what doesn't work. If you can be clear about that, that's going to help you out a lot, a whole lot. Now, that's not a requirement. You don't have to do that. That was decided, that got started with me and the advisor of Stan, because every group has a advisor, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it will help you if you do that. If you can do that, I would say go for it. Do it. And just remember that if you communicate with the instructor and the instructor communicates with you, you're going to be successful with that class. You're going to go through that class and you're going to find it much easier than if you're going through that class and you're not communicating and you're unable to complete assignments, or you're getting assignments that you can't do because it's not possible due to the special accommodations that you need. If the instructor doesn't know that that's not going to work for you, then they're not going to know to adjust the assignment. Special accommodations is a law, but you got to remember something about special accommodations. There are things within special accommodations that you might need that might not be a legal requirement that the instructor has to follow. So if you don't communicate that and explain that to your instructor, they're not going to be able to work with you. Maybe it takes you longer to do an assignment. Well, it's not a legal requirement that they give you extra time on your due dates. But if you communicate about it, I can almost guarantee you that they will. So communicate. And if you're communicating, they're going to communicate. The next thing is, you might be going to college and you might have something that is a challenge for you or a struggle that isn't a disability. And now you're probably going to be saying, well, what do I do? You still need to communicate about it. The instructors, I'm sure they will work with you. Talk to your advisor. Also, you heard me talk about STAND. It's a group that we started at Ivytech when I first started. I wasn't even in, but one semester and I started the group, STAND, which stands for See the Ability, Not the Disability. This group is not based on being disabled. It's based on a couple things. Well, one of them is about disabilities, but it's based on supporting each other and helping students go through their classes successfully and to be there to help each other. There are members that can join just to help out. Maybe you want to join to help someone else out, you can. If that's what you like to do, you would enjoy this group. It's also for those that have disabilities. If you have a disability, we want to help you and make sure that you go through your classes successfully. And we have made such a huge impact on Ivytech since I've been there. Even in ways that we don't even notice. Here I am visually impaired, and I have a guide dog, but I also use my cane. And since I've been going there, they have changed things for me, for people that are visually impaired, such as moving things out of the way that we might run into when we go through the building. I'm amazed by the impact that we have made on Ivytech. If you want to be a member, you can reach out to us. You can send an email to jestep14@ivytech.edu. I'll spell it out for you real quick. J, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, T as in Tom, E as in Edward, P as in Paul, 14 at ivytech.edu. If you'd like to join, please reach out to me. We'd love to have you. The only requirement is that you are a student at Ivytech or alumni. You can even be faculty or an instructor. We'd love to have you. The whole idea for this video was to give you a really good understanding about Ivytech. Of course, it was about, being able to tell you guys about the group as well. But the better that you can understand that Ivytech, they are there to help you become successful. I have changed since I've been going to Ivytech, and not necessarily that, personally, I've changed everything about me, but the way that I do things, the way that I look at things, even the way that I talk to people. I've learned so much in such little time. It's amazing. And I think that if you sign up to go to Ivytech, you're going to find that it was probably one of the best decisions that you could make. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. Again, if you'd like more information about the group STAND, please email me, jestep14@ivytech.edu. And if you're wanting information about going to Ivytech, then I would encourage you to reach out to the nearest Ivytech to you, wherever you might be. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you very soon.